There's a fairly new Robinson's flavour, which is
strawberry kiwi, sorry.
raspberry and lemon, which is pops up.
As a squash? Yeah. Robinson's, yeah. Classic.
Yeah. Is Robinson's ones with the golden tops?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just, you guys remember, so I'll quickly run through stuff. I'll basically direct it each day what happened in that sesh. So we were going to roleplay it that basically you and Ty were maybe off fencing some of the goods and things while
Okay,
we started doing this stuff.
Yeah.
But basically what happened is, do you want this stuff?
Yeah, I can actually that now.
You're back.
So basically they, Elictu and Gesh were approached by this slightly antisocial man, asking them for help.
Yeah, I did that.
Asking them for help to basically get closure on his daughter who's been kidnapped and possibly killed by this person called Tuss. Tuss Greycross. And
I'm so sorry about how awful my roleplay was.
No, it wasn't awful. It was just miscommunication.
No, it was me not listening. Was what it was. You said multiple times the clear details, and I was like, I still don't understand.
But no, I like to think that that's just Gesh doesn't get fully how magic works entirely. Like he knew a bit himself, but he didn't get that kind of magic.
Yeah, okay, fine. He probably doesn't understand how old elves are as well.
And basically, the dude was like acting very being like who's being very.
This was Greygross was acting.
No, so the guy that they met is this other guy called Garrick.
Okay.
Garrick, yeah.
And basically, he ends up taking them to this, saying he knows where this person lives. And whenever they would ask about him, everyone was like kind of weird about giving information on the guy. The place they took him was this area in the west of Jurkim, where there's this sort of closed area where there's this really horrible where you get all these horrible feverish symptoms and your skin goes entirely black and like oily. After asking around here a bit, they weren't really getting any clear answers. And then Garrick was basically like, "Look, let me just take you to where he is." So he led them to generally where they are, where this guy is, and they had to go through. And he was behind this door, which was had an enchantment on it, which they had to break through a puzzle, this arcane puzzle, which they managed to solve after a little bit.
When you get to like 45% or something, let me know. I need your thing for the GoPro.
Sure. Sorry, could you just get back?
Yeah, sure. So they basically managed to unlock this door, which was like protected by arcane.
We had to solve a riddle.
Well, a magic puzzle.
And they went into this place, and there were these two like weird monsters, which they were managed to kind of get around. They managed to break through the next door, and then
was that magical as well?
No, it was not door.
A strength breakdown kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of like burst into the room.
Guess crowbarred the door open.
Oh, nice.
And they bust in, and basically there's this elven guy who is Tuss, and he's like got a spell ready saying like, "Watch your fucking step." And there's like loads of chemistry stuff and like science stuff, and over to the other side of the room there's all these hospital beds with loads of people who are afflicted with tar skin. And then basically they get in and they
afflicted with tar
skin is the name of this disease.
Black skin, black oily skin.
And basically Tuss begins to explain to them like, no, I'm trying to look after these people basically. And they say, well, where's this guy's girl and everything? And he says, how could you possibly know Garrick? And they said, well, we met him, and he said he died a year ago. And then Garrick materializes and basically attacks Tuss and starts fucking him up. They're able, after a bit, he really fucks Tuss up. They're able to like get him off and fight him, and then end up restraining him. And then basically Tuss, because he's a very ancient, smart elf, basically explains that Garrick's essentially come back as a revenant, and he was really pissed off with the guys for bringing him in because Tuss would have otherwise been protected because he had all this divination magic. So the reason Garrick can get to Tuss is because he protects himself with divine magic. He needed these guys to break through that so he could get at him, and so there was a bit of a back and forth. Basically, before Garrick had died from the tar skin and his feverishness and everything, he had also had a daughter who was also afflicted with tar skin, She died in Tuss's care. He went mental and thought it was him that had killed her, basically, and then he'd carried that into his death and was able to come back as a revenant to seek revenge.
Right, yeah.
So they've now got this situation where Tuss said, look, if I need help with this, you kind of owe me, and they're kind of like, we're not sure if we want to help you or not, because we're just a band of merry adventurers. But yeah, that's basically sort of.
Well, I left it. Gesh left it quite frustrated because in Gesh's mind he was like, "We've delivered this revenant to you, who's been seeking to hurt you this whole time, and now
because
you have him
restrained
restrained. You have him restrained, and he is now under your control, so you can totally control the situation." But obviously, the elf was fine. He didn't have any problems being. He was completely protected, and there's probably more than one thing wanting to kill him because he might be so ancient.
So he had a bunch of like divination, abjuration magic, like just protecting himself, and basically this guy, as a revenant, was unable to be able to get through this magic door. So that's.
So he like was just like, I probably.
Would have been
But
fine.
you did save him.
Well, yeah, but they also
Only because
dangered him.
we brought the danger to him.
It's like
as
pushing
well.
someone off a cliff and catching them, you know.
I see.
Where before you didn't need to be pushed off the cliff.
Yeah.
Add your cloak to your character.
Oh yeah.
So there's already.
Have you done it?
But yeah, so then
there's
what?
already a
Because
close
Garrick,
back, though.
prior to
Oh,
the
yeah.
task,
How
It's similar, but
he
Money might add it quickly.
You're not like you movie.
Yeah, I am.
Oh,
Let's see. I just need to do that before.
That's fine. So we've got books, we've got
Yeah,
harp. Should we just
no.
say you managed to fence
It's called
it all
Unbound
just for
Bow.
the sake of
Yeah.
easiness?
So is it just
Yes.
like just go
Well,
inventory?
I didn't add the money from
I can't add
before
stuff
that
to
Fergus
Fergus' character
said.
sheets. Where was that
Didn't
from?
Fergus post on the group how much money to add?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
From
I
the
didn't-
initial.
yeah, I
part,
didn't-
so-
ages ago.
Yeah, I didn't do that because
Yeah, a few weeks
not,
ago.
Yeah.
After the initial robbery.
Sure. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, not last session before that. But we
But
did
that
get,
was my last session.
We did get a load of stuff last session which we need to divvy up as well. Which I can.
And we need to work out how much we're getting
Mm.
from the stuff that we do first.
Does anyone remember roughly? Did anyone write down how much it was? How much
The
gold?
original time.
Yeah.
4 plat, 142 gold, and 64 silver.
All that 140 gold.
64
So it's like 5.
No electrum.
No,
What's
I
electrum?
don't use Electrum.
What is
It's
electrum?
like 25.
Yeah,
Yeah,
25 silver. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, I think it's like 25 silver or something like
I think
that.
it's 5 silver.
Yeah, it is.
gold
yeah.
is 10.
It's
Sure.
10, yeah, it's 5. It's just like, when am I ever gonna
Just use
just do
gold.
5 silver or half gold? Yeah.
And plat is 10 gold, right?
Yes.
I'd just like to say that Enoch would like to keep one of the really fancy sets of clothes that you mentioned.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Thing, you know, like maybe the one with like the huge peacock feather.
Have you done your encumbrance yet as well?
No.
Oh yeah, it's
So
back around
we have
that.
to work out.
Maybe
the
next
background.
session if we've only got a little bit fattly.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, or we'll do it once Ali goes or something.
Yeah.
You go
Also,
down.
I'm going at 9.
everyone add 608 gold to your character.
608.
600? What's
Yeah.
that from?
Last session.
Ah.
4 plat, 1200 gold.
608.
Yep. Wait, did I add the original one?
600 gold, you said.
608 gold.
8 gold.
God, I'm
Nice.
fucking balling.
You're not balling, a shot calling. Take it back to the days of yes, y'allin'. Holding to us, garden.
Yeah. Oh, and we've got a character sheet with Thrasher as well now. So if you, when you do encumbrance, you can put some stuff on him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Thrasher particularly strong?
Stronger than you guys.
13 strength, stronger than me.
But as in like, so he doesn't. I'm saying that like pack animals aren't.
Wow.
Pack animals aren't.
I am weak as fuck.
Very low intelligence and very low charisma.
Tide is
Eh.
very weak.
Oh, yeah.
She has like a 6 or something.
Oh.
Dodgy rolls. She's got like a -3 modifier to strength.
Ooh.
I think she can carry with her, with the variant encumbrance rules, without being encumbered at all. She can carry 25 pounds.
That's a backpack, a loot, and a book.
I imagine if you couldn't even bring her loot.
Well, the original, when we were first making the character, she was like, "Oh, what encumbrance are we going to use?" I was like, "I'm not sure yet." She was like, "Okay, well, I'll instead of picking a loot, I'll pick panpipes because they're less weight." So now we've got the loot, and I was like, "We're doing very encumbrance." She's like, "Fuck!"
I don't know.
That's so savage. Oh.
Hey?
Could you make
did you
her?
not
Could you
add
make
from the
her
week
loot? Like
no.
the magical loot she got. Like.
Flat.
No, I didn't.
You know.
142 gold. Lighter.
Yeah.
I'm not adding
It's
it.
got sapphire in it.
Because
You weren't there.
Yeah, but you know.
Because I do not remember what I talked about in this last session.
I hope we talking.
Guess.
No, I don't know.
Oh.
Just
Like more than
Well, then
5.
we should
No,
have more.
no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck
Well, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, you're right.
You're the weakest
Yeah.
person in the world. You can carry a 25 pound
Yeah,
backpack.
fine. Steal
Yeah,
from an
12
innocent
kilograms.
person.
Are you joking?
On your
You
back.
will steal from
Yeah.
anyone.
No, but when you thought he was a real bloke, then you were like,
But,
no, he's
like,
been
you'd be
dead for a
fucking
year. You were like,
exhausted.
No, Garrett,
You'd be
that's
fucking
fine.
like
Because he's a dead adventurer
Imagine, like,
and I'm going to
um,
use his equipment because he's got a beautiful bow. I'm not just going to let it sit and collect dust.
Yeah.
Whereas Soft Tongue, I'm not just going to go in his house and steal all of his shit because you guys have fucking knocked out his housekeeper.
We could have killed the housekeeper, so we're not that bad.
Come on, Pud.
Well, and he didn't.
So
see
yeah,
it.
you
He didn't-
guys-
and he didn't see anyone
Ah, you
either.
fuck-
That's why I'm glad you didn't kill him because I hate it when people are just random, like, you know, murder's like a murder. It's like a big thing. People in D&D are like, oh, it's a game, I'm gonna kill the guy. It's like, it's not Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be trying to be an actual dude. Like, we stick with you if you're gonna stab a fucking goblin on the floor.
Everyone on the beer.
I'm alright now.
I would take not some beer, but I am quite hungry. Could you bring the tarum salata out of the fridge? That's
Oh, I forgot your pastrami and baby bells. Sorry,
and
mate.
bring it over here.
Pastrami and baby bells.
Oh yeah.
I'll bring them next time.
Yeah. Thank you.
What else do you want it with?
Ritz crackers, please.
Okay, enough.
You've been alright of late, Will?
Huh?
You've been alright?
Yeah, just working away, had a game of Ferg on the weekend, went to Stratford.
You do that fun?
Yeah, it was good. I got absolutely fucked though.
Yeah, how's your neck?
It's like much better now. Like I can, it's only like right at the edge of my movement that it starts to get painful. But literally, when I first went down, like I couldn't move my head at all without
Thank you very much, Ali.
fucking agony. It was horrible.
Oh,
You've been
mate.
doing some like stretches and stuff. Would that help or not really?
It might help. To be fair, it's like
No, I don't.
Before it happened or
No, I don't.
You do
not.
I didn't stretch.
Yeah, I've ordered one.
Oh really?
It's
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah.
I found there's like this 10-minute a little bit of attention, I guess. There's this 10-minute like stretching video that I do once in a while, and it's so pain. Like it's just like like all of the things he does are like really nice, like really stretchy and lovely.
I've never liked stretching.
I never did much before, but I was doing this thing where I was like, I've got to do all these different things, and one of them was stretching.
I'm
and I
surprised
really
because you're
enjoy
sitting
it.
at a desk all the time. I'm surprised you don't need to stretch more.
I probably should. But
Do this one.
I just
It's 10 minutes, and all of them do actually. Like there's one where you like twist your head, and it's like your whole thigh glute. Just
Oh, but
doing
the old
massage.
IT band.
It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love stretching the IT band.
My calves were like,
It's like a head.
like really tight, and like hiking and stuff.
Yeah.
I stretch them loads. I love a good stretch.
Right. So then.
So can we? So say
check those
so we leave.
3-1.
What's the
Yeah.
what was the elf's name? Oh, Tuss. That's it. We leave Tuss's dungeon.
We've
Whatever.
got Man United decisions made.
We go to Garrick's house. We have a look around. We find the cloak. We find the bow. Can you talk through, like when we find the bow? I'll pick up the bow. What's it look like?
Yes. Okay. So the bow itself is it's made of wood.
Sorry, how did you get the bow?
So Garrick, the Revenant.
The guy
Yeah.
was dead.
Yeah, the
He
guy
used to be an adventurer.
He used to be an adventurer. So hence why we now have this
We
cloak.
raided his house.
You raided his house.
We took his shit.
Oh.
He said.
So you didn't like kill him, but you robbed
He was
him.
already dead.
Was
Oh,
already
well, he
dead.
was already
His
dead,
house
yeah.
is fucking derelict.
So is he now as a revenant gone?
No, he's tied up with Tuss.
Well, what's going to happen to like him as a revenant? Is he just going to like hang
So
around?
basically,
Can he like go back
Tuss-
to being dead?
What Tuss explained is that a revenant, if their physical body is destroyed, they can move. They can then take over another body. But if their body isn't destroyed, they can't leave the host.
Oh, okay.
So he's like
That's why we
he's
tied
finding.
him up and I kept him there.
So Tuss is going to basically be trying to figure out a way to like bind him, which might end up being a side quest or something. I don't know, or not.
To like bind him, I thought he was trying to like release him so he wasn't a revenant.
Well, if he can, he'll do that. But he's just going to do whatever he can to like
Okay.
get him.
Yes. No. Yeah.
It's fucking pang, mate. Tara Masalat is fucking lovely. Also, you get more loot from when the last session you played with Soft Tongue. You get my share of the loot from that.
Oh, yeah.
All of you,
Why?
because
Just do a random number.
Oh,
for you.
honestly,
Because,
fair.
you
It's,
You can just add it up. Right?
I can just do one share divided by 4. So 1 plat, 35 goldish, and 16 silver.
Oh,
1 plat. How? Wait,
35 gold,
35 gold.
16 silver.
Sweet.
Oh, I forgot about Fresher.
Oh,
Fresher?
he needs his share.
Yeah.
give me some flat. I mean, you've been walking around with like diamond encrusted armor on flash.
so the way we will play it is maybe you guys go. You're heading back to the temple to reconvene. Eh?
The bow.
Oh yeah, let's go the bow. So the bow,
Just quickly.
the wood, because the part of the bow is elven craft, and so it looks like the way that the elves would. You might not know this. I'm not going to necessarily tell you, but the way that you're looking at it is it doesn't look like a piece of wood that's been kind of taken and shaped. It looks like a wood that's wood that's grown in that way.
Cool.
And in addition to that, studded along so the bow's like this. It's kind of a bit of a recurve bow, so it's a big old bow, and it has a bit of a recurve. And then
So like, all the grains like follow as one, and it's not like you don't see any grains in it. Because
no,
it's all grown
yeah.
out.
Literally looks like it's been created that way. And then every maybe 6 or 7 inches or so, just along the front of the bow, there's these little square kind of yellowish, like sort of slightly bronzy metal. They're like sort of embedded in the bow, and each of them have dwarven runes inscribed onto them.
Oh, sick. Elven dwarven combination.
Yeah.
Sick.
Is it recurve though?
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, that's its description. In the game, it's a long bow.
Nice.
What? You say it's got slats down the side?
On the front, what colour? They're like a sort of bronzy gold.
Are you adding that to the detail of the?
No,
No, you're doing it for your own.
generated
Dali?
AI image.
Oh, have you got that
It's like
thing?
a-
I signed to Dali, yeah. They
It's
invited
like
me.
an AI image.
Can I use
type
it?
Sure.
Yes.
whatever it is, and it
Oh, I
can
wanted to
trust
fuck around
it.
with
I mean,
So
you can fuck
yeah.
around with it,
Really?
but it's good
Yeah,
version.
really
I don't want to know
fucking
that good
Sick.
version. It looks
And
wow.
what was the last thing you said?
We've got
So that's,
natural
I went with Dwarven Roots.
Yeah.
I'm envisioning like dwarven armor color from Skyrim.
Yes. Yeah. That's exactly
Yeah.
that. Maybe slightly less shiny.
Slightly darker. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
More
Bronzy. Yeah. Sick. Sick.
Yes. So I'll say that you guys are heading back to the place. Can Gesh, can you give me 2 Constitution saving throws, please?
Yeah.
I'm just saving throw modifier.
I got 16 and 15.
Okay, nice. Right. You feel fine.
No tasking for me.
You're not coughing or anything yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Maybe down the line. Does the elixir have to do it?
Very careful around not touching any of them. Yeah, no, I definitely couldn't make Will do it because he was very like, I'm wearing gloves, right? Whenever he was like touching anything, he was like, so yeah.
I swear I said I'm wearing my fucking rabbit pelt
Yeah,
around
but
my
you
face.
grabbed
and
it,
just-
right?
Shit, you wrapped your arms around it. You're like licking it.
Whispering in his ear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was, to be fair, trying to calm him down, wasn't I?
Okay.
That could have been fun, me getting tasking though, trying to navigate that.
Gesh dies. No. So you guys, yes, you're heading back to the temple to sort of reconvene and gather yourself. And once you arrive there, in there you meet Tide, who's feeling pretty tired today actually, just wants to chill. But Enoch's also there, and you walk in and well, how would you like to greet one another?
You see me, and I've got this quite lavish, wide-brimmed hat.
Oh, I maybe wouldn't be wearing the stuff here.
No,
In the temple.
I've bought something with my.
Oh, okay, no, it's
with
fine.
my.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear that hat. That's for like a fucking like dinner party.
Yeah, sure.
Ball.
Yeah.
You know, if I need something unbelievably fancy
Yeah, fine.
and baller.
Put that on if you ever wear it.
Yeah, but it's just a very fine, wide, brimmed leather hat with a particularly fine 2 feathers in like a leather band, a magpie feather and a big peacock feather.
I sort of see him and I say, oh, I see you're flaunting your plunder.
Look, well mate, as I've always said, he wouldn't miss it at all. He had grown lazy with the spoils of his own success. The loot, it was a fake. He was on drugs trying to make himself something he wasn't. And now that Tide has relieved him of his drugs and his loot.
Yeah.
He was on drugs.
Oh, he was?
He was on drugs.
Oh, right, I thought you were just adding that there.
They found a load of potions.
Oh, I mean, that was all at the end. That wasn't on the fucking thing.
Yeah, I think
oh,
it
right.
was.
Yeah, they found a load of potions which like give you a charisma advantage on charisma performance checks.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So it was a bit of a fraud.
Bit of a fraud.
Yeah. Tide will be able to take her rightful place as one of the finest bards in this region.
That doesn't justify clearing a man out of all of his wealth and belongings.
Look, mate, it was the Thieves Guild, man, okay? I didn't want to do it, but he insisted that if we were going to make a job of it, we had to steal everything. And then once he had stolen everything, but made a noise, well, it didn't seem fair that he just got to keep everything that he'd stolen. So I stole from him, not the old man.
Justify it how you will. At least I have a moral compass.
As you're saying that, you see Ruggael.
I sort of cast a look at everybody judgingly for taking part in
Wipe my
this.
tears away with my gold.
You're like, you get your platinum out. And you're just like,
Ruggael walks out of the office and he says, you've all returned. He said, you were asking about Garrick, weren't you?
Yes, we were. But we managed to find him actually. So,
He said, well, I don't know how you've managed that because it came to me. He died some time ago.
Well, we could have used that information earlier.
He says, I'm sorry, I've had all this Maldierg in my head. Tell me all about it. What happened?
well, we found out he was dead too. And not dead in the regular sense. He was dead with unfinished business, and he seemed to be wanting to take it out on Tusk Greycross, who had been trying to save his daughter, but Garrick seemed to think otherwise.
I see. Well, yes, I do apologise for not having thought about it sooner. That's my area of expertise, really. I certainly could have lent a hand. As everything resolved, I'm sure I could help if...
well, we're lucky to not have Task.
He says, what? You went over to the west, did you?
That's where Tusk Greycross was.
Bloody hell.
That's where he lives.
Come through, let me cleanse you. And he kind of like goes over to where this main altar is. And you see there's like this... there's this pool of like kind of slightly silvery water, and he's got he pulls out what are they called, the like metal things that like smoke?
That's for smoke.
Yeah, it's
you mean
like
like,
would just be
Oh, they like hang.
yeah. Oh, fuck. They're in the priest pack in D&D if you want to check that out. But yeah,
The rebel.
no.
Sensor.
Sensor, that's the one. Yeah. Pulls out sensor and begins like stuffing it with different herbs, and he ignites it with a little puff from his hand.
I can't resist to jump in at this point and say, Gesh, pick up something in the slums, did you?
Leave me in peace, Enoch.
And
I'll need some extra cleansing after your words.
It's literally how I feel.
Ruggael grabs this like goblet of the silvery water and just chucks it in your face, and then goes over to you, Elixir, and chucks it in your face, and goes to you, Gesh, and does the same to you. And he waves the censer in front of your face, and he says, "Now, breathe very deeply."
I like it here.
Already in my face.
Yeah, he did. He said you first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was listening.
He says, "Now, I suggest you get a little bit of rest. Hopefully you should be fine." And you see he like hangs the censer up and allows the incense to just like burn through the temple.
Yeah, I've been staying in one specific cot, and I make my way over to that one because I haven't been staying in the inn with you guys. I've been sort of retreated to the temple to sort of like.
Before you go, Ruggael, you said this was your area of expertise. Would you happen to know anything about revenants?
He says, well, if an individual were to seek revenge on another individual, they could certainly come back as a spirit and inhabit a host."
Well, that actually is what we think happened to Tuss. Tuss or Truss?
Tuss.
Tuss. We've actually left him tied up with Garrick, much to his dismay.
No, the way around. We left Garrick tied up with Tuss.
Yeah.
Ah, true. You wouldn't happen, and he is desperately trying to find a way to rid him of this curse. You wouldn't happen to know any
Says-
methods of this?
Well, it's hard to purge a body of a revenant without it just coming back sometime later. He says, I'll do some additional reading. I might have a few ideas. But if you're willing to help this man, well, I'm sure I could lend a hand.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Of course. It's been quite a while since I've been dealing with the undead, but it's always quite a roller coaster. It's always quite an adventure.
What's one
It's
of
like
those?
it's like riding down a mine shaft. He says, "Anyway,
I'll hit you up on Facebook.
He says, for the time being, though, we might be able to accelerate this process a little bit. I've hit a few hiccups with the translation. Dorwin, you know those bits we were struggling with?
Yes, of course.
He says, well, I happen to remember a wee deal I made with a Corrid a while ago. He lives just a little bit north from here. I once gifted him a ring that, well, it can aid with understanding these kind of passages and languages. I offered it to him as a trade for some work we did together. If you're able to somehow go and make a deal with him somehow or require it back, it could certainly speed up this entire process.
Where did you say this man resides?
He says, well, let me just get up the map. I'll have a little look here and show you. Let me just open my map.
Maps for a while.
Yeah, we've been locked in Jerkim, haven't we?
Locked
here
in.
we are. He says, ooh,
So we're back into the scales.
if I do, sorry, it's on my drive, isn't it? I haven't saved it so locally. One moment, my friends.
Sebastian.
Yeah. To expect me
Is it
to
going to reach?
to remember that was frankly foolish.
Yeah.
The extension lead does go.
Behind you as well.
I think the officially goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
it's charging something there though.
Huh?
Do you want to unplug that black one?
Oh, it's fine. This is fine.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
enough?
yeah, reaches.
Okay, cool. I could just slide that one.
Joking.
It's by about him in the east.
Nice.
He says,
And where does the translator live? In Jokim.
So he's just getting the map out to show us.
Yeah.
as in he's saying that there's an artefact. That
Right,
can
yeah.
help us understand it. He says, it's only a day's travel north from Joachim along the path, and then about half a day to the east into the mountains. If you travel along there, you'll find quite a spectacularly tall but thin waterfall, which leads into a nice little stream.
Sorry, wait. Say it again.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
He says, in that area, there's a wee cave that lies just to one side of the waterfall. If you were to head in there, travel around a bit and show to the Corrid that you mean him no harm, and well, he's a friendly chap. I'm sure you'll be able to work something out.
It's in this town, you said, yeah.
No, days walk north.
What's a Corrid?
Yes, right. Well, a Corrid is a creature of the Fae. They're little fellows. They're devilishly smart and they've got strength to match. They tend to live deep in caves and mountains. They have they prize gems above all else. Although they like to keep themselves to themselves, as well. If there's any adventurers that come across a Corrid, sometimes they will. They'll try and kill them and acquire their hair. You see, their hair has quite magical properties. Yes, of course, the Corrid would unconsciously.
I wonder if this Corrid associate of yours would know where we might be able to sell this gem fragment. If you're saying he's quite a collector, would he be able to point us in a good direction?
Well, creatures of the Fae have a lot more desire for gems of the natural, gems that occur naturally. The gems that we make would hold little value to a Corrid. It would be like offering furniture to a wood elf when they'd rather just sing it out of the wood themselves.
And as you start talking about gems, Enoch's ears you see them twitching underneath the brim of his hat, and he goes, so what about these natural gems? How might we acquire some of them?
He says, well, to acquire them from a Corrid, well, you just have to do them right, I suppose. They don't like to part with them, and
Or doing wrong.
well, I'm putting my trust in you here.
Good one, Alexia.
He says, oh, maybe shouldn't have said about the waterfall.
I know you don't trust anybody.
And
This man's a friend.
do they only grow?
Good
Can they only be found in these caves that are inhabited by
Well, not particularly.
by those creatures?
Um,
Do they
no,
exist in other parts of the world?
Aye, indeed, yes. You can find Corrids all over the place. I mean, well, I say all over the place. They are quite rare, but there's no one specific place they'd inhabit. They just happen to persist more so in mountains where they've got easy access to the earth.
I see. I see.
He says, well, feel free to gather your things. It's quite late now. I suggest you get some rest. Otherwise, the sooner we can set off, and if you're able to get this thing, we'd be able to find this tomb a lot faster.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Nice. Is there anything that people want to do or say or anything like that?
I would like to buy some flares at some point. Can I say that I've done that? At the alchemist's shop?
Yes, it would probably be a situation of like, they probably wouldn't. Oh, I guess in a dwarven settlement with mines and stuff, maybe they would make them. Yeah, we could say you could probably buy
Yeah,
some
would it
flares.
be natural to have a mining flare, or would there just
They
be
probably-
gems? Would there be? Because there wouldn't be like a gem like in all the little nooks and crannies, would there?
No,
Or would there?
I would guess an emergency flare would make sense.
We were saying, so we got some last time, and we were saying, we bought some, didn't we?
You were like going to sort of, we would say you got them if you want, because it's just a few gold or something.
You can like put them in lanterns and stuff, so you could just use them.
Oh,
as
yeah.
never ending
Fucking
source of
awesome.
light, basically.
Yeah, do you want to talk him through that? How they work?
Yeah, sure. So
Let's see.
what Ruggael described to them is that, you know, all the gems which are like lighting up the cabins and people's houses and things. Like little ones are quite common. Like, you know, I equated them to like light bulbs for us all over the place. But the way that they work is that because they're constantly producing light, to kind of equate for that, they have to constantly be in motion as well. And so you normally fix them to a place and they'll kind of float around in one area.
like a Roomba.
A Roomba? Yeah, like a Roomba, yeah. Only they don't need charging stations.
Yeah, and they emit light, not Hoover. Exactly
Yeah.
like a Roomba.
And so you could get one to like, or people do get them to like just move around in a lantern.
Yeah.
And then you can just close and open the lantern as you need. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're ditching their other light sources and acquiring a couple of them.
Sure. Could I buy a flare?
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
So,
how much would that set me back, roughly?
we'll say maybe each flare would probably cost about 7 gold.
Okay, so if I buy... how much do they weigh?
Each one, I'd say that 10 would weigh.
They might
10
be-
would weigh a pound.
They might be on D&D Beyond if you want to
I
like.
don't think I've ever come across flares, but they might be. You have a look. It's your-
I think I've got rid of my torches.
Okay, so I will buy 10...
You threw them all around that. Fucking. Go on, James. What's it?
I'll buy 10 flares.
No, you threw
Encumbrance is really, really a bitch now, by the way. Just so you know.
So you've got to be very wary.
Throw them away if you.
No, I really want flares.
Sure.
D&D.
But I think you're just going to be surprised at how much of a bitch.
For £1? Yeah, wait.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
But it's fine. Have them for now. You can always just ditch them.
Fair
D&D
enough.
Wiki says.
Bear in mind that I don't need to carry weapons.
Yeah, weapons.
Yeah.
D&D.
So, you know,
That does help.
like, how much is like a rapier? Must be like £5 or something.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah, so I don't need to carry any of that.
On D&D Wiki, a
I-
flare is apparently 20 gold and £3.
One
A
flare?
single flare.
Okay.
Wait,
They can only exist in campaigns with gunpowder.
There's gunpowder in my campaigns. There's pirate ships and stuff.
sure. So
Each-
20
each.
How much do they weigh again?
Each
£3.
Each handheld brass tube launches 3 flares.
Okay, so
okay.
£3
So
for
is
3
the-
flares.
But you could just have a loose
No.
flare. You just want to throw them.
Wait, is
You don't. I wouldn't say you
as
need
in
a flare
could
gun
you
to
just buy
actually-
the tube?
Oh, cool,
and then
yeah.
Stop.
That would probably mean you can't throw it as far.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah,
if you've got a gun, you can fucking
I
send it.
don't want to throw it. I
No.
want to have it in my hands.
Yeah. I was assuming.
Yeah, I don't
And
want
just why don't you make a custom
What?
thing?
Huh?
You want to light a flare in your hand?
Yeah, because when it's dark and like everyone, I'm gonna shut my eye. Well, I'm not gonna explain it, but it's like it's a nice mechanic.
Really hot and shit.
Yeah.
No, flare is like
You can hold a
you
flare.
can hold a flare.
Yeah, they don't burn. They burn if you like put it.
They burn all-
People used to do that all the time, like walking through the snow.
Yeah,
holding a
like a
flare.
modern, like fancy.
Yeah.
I don't know, like if just a tube of gunpowder is gonna like.
Well, it's not just a tube. It's like an alchemist thing. It's like a dwarf,
Yeah.
crafted flare. I think they could probably.
Well, I guess just divide this thing by 3 then, so £1 and 7 gold. There you go.
Pound and £7.
Just do a customizer for now. I can homebrew one later.
Sure. Flares. Weight override, so 7
I just do 1 and then do quantity.
and 1 is £1.
Yeah.
So. Ooh, 1 is £1. One flare is £1. Yeah. And that carries, and that's 3. No,
No,
This is mine.
yeah.
This flare kit that's
Right.
£3,
That
that's
one.
3.
But is that the with the gun?
But she traded
The
it.
Fine,
gun
yeah.
is the more powerful.
Okay, so
I would say each flare would weigh half
But
an
now I'm
hour.
not
Half
allowed to
a
use it
pound.
because it's really nice.
Okay.
So you can just do it.
I will have 2 flares.
What, less than, I think, a pound of butter?
I don't think
Tiny
you need a
little
lot.
bit.
to-
No, that's
Yeah,
that's
use a lot.
250 grams isn't a pound.
I thought that's
Pound is
500 grams.
500 pounds is a gram.
Ish.
Yeah, even
It's like
so.
450.
400, yeah.
But it's much.
Even
50,
so.
50 grams is hard to
Yeah.
differentiate between.
Yeah.
Like
But
I think of
don't
it.
have
I think
a
of it. The way I think of it is
baseline.
like bottles, right? Like a 500 ml bottle of Coke.
Yeah, it would be like
That's more than a pound, I reckon.
No, it's not.
It's
no,
500
it's not
grams,
bad, it's
500
not
grams.
bad, yeah.
But then the bottom, you've got to-
Pound of weed.
Yeah, fast.
Flares.
So yeah, what
Just
do you
gonna say that from now on, yeah, flares.
Yeah, flares.
what do you guys up to then?
Not much to be fair.
Was asleep now, aren't we?
While Enoch goes off and buys a flare, I go to the local blacksmith and I barter with him to sell my longbow to him.
Sure. Yes. Okay. Shall we just do like a? Do you just want to do a persuasion check and?
Yeah. Okay.
excellent.
Yeah, I'm on my own as well. I got 5.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get a good price here, mate.
It says it's
What is
worth
it?
50 gold.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, but that's to buy. So we'll say you can sell it for maybe like 18 gold.
Fine.
Yeah. Well, he's used it a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, no, he's not.
Not.
No,
Yeah.
no,
He's
no,
running
no,
his
no,
fucking
no,
daggers.
Yeah, it's
No, no.
true, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's literally got a little creature to tank
Brand new
damage.
bow.
In the campaign, he used it all the time. Back before he actually had to get in fights. Just hunting squirrels.
I'm a dragonborn. Straight in, dead.
I keep forgetting you can add active conditions.
Just become a melee character, my dude.
No, I just need to get over myself.
Your character has.
You are a dragonborn, but you've grown up to shoot things from a distance
I
as a
know.
dragonborn.
I know, so I'm conflicted.
No, not conflicted. That's exactly what you've learned, is to shoot things from far away.
interesting.
That's how you show your aggression and honour.
Yeah, clearly still mastering that dynamic.
What's his exhaustion level
Who's?
on D&D Beyond?
Oh, so
That's-
each level of exhaustion is varyingly more crippling. It's like if you...
Do you remember when I
I've had
had that frenzy hit?
Oh, yeah,
When
you
I
can
came
get
out of it,
exhausted.
I'd get exhausted.
Can I see? I'm going to see if the blacksmith wants to buy my hunting trap as well, because I'm going to get rid of it 'cause it's really heavy.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Oh, honestly, whenever you
It's
want
worth
one, just
$5.
literally just.
Alright. Shut up then. Great.
Two.
Yeah.
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah.
Because the blacksmith's probably not going to need a hunting trap, really, are they?
Oscar,
Well, they might.
did you get the cheese from the
Hang on,
Le Prix is the like strong spreadable stuff.
Like, do you remember a few sessions ago, like when we went through the items that you can buy
might
from
be
the
on
shop,
the
and I was like, I'll have
behind
one of
that
those,
beer
I'll have one of
on the
those, I'll
side.
have one of those, like, and I bought so much shit, and it's made me so encumbered now that I just need to get rid of so much stuff.
Right, should we set off?
You not want to baller amounts now, all of a sudden. Because, you know, you wear.
To share the load.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, I think by you not having,
I am. I really am. I'm
By-
on size for him as well.
by Enoch not having a mount would mean that we have to share stuff and work as a team more, you know?
Enoch doesn't care about that.
No, but why would you not have a? Why do you not have a? I mean,
You're a fucking thrasher.
I have Thrash.
yeah.
I have Thrash.
Oh, I have Dragos then.
Trash. He's dead, isn't
He is, yeah. Well, no, I'm free-signed it because we've had a rest now. It's in the temple.
Smashing missing character. I've got my brother Dragos. Is he dead?
Yes, there's only a
Oh, I'm
small
gonna get
detail.
another
Come back
Oh,
into Revenant.
And how much?
Inhabited Thrasher.
And how much money do I get from fleecing the goods with tithe?
Let's see what so we got a harp, we got a bunch of musical instruments.
It was a very swanky harp as well.
Yeah, it was a very swanky harp. We got the stuff, we got a couple of books.
So, sure.
That's pretty much it, isn't it? Let's find clothes too.
Who kept the charisma potions?
Tide, I assume.
Doesn't fucking need them.
Maybe
but
say
okay.
you're probably able to flog it all for like 1,300 gold.
1,300.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So.
You don't want any of this, do you?
No.
Oh, so it's between 4.
Yeah.
So that's another
What,
350.
325, whatever?
350.
How much was it total?
1,200.
300.
325.
300, yeah, I don't right.
325.
300
then, yeah.
325 each.
Sweet, mate.
So-
Fucking balling.
So as you walk into the room, I throw 3 very fine muslin bags with like a gold twine around as the drawstring. I throw them to you, and they have a really like satisfying clunk in them, and there's all. In fact, I want you to think that I'm really sick.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
Does it work?
No.
Ah well. But so I'm like,
What were you going to do?
don't know, just
Just throw the bags at you.
yeah, throw the bags at you and just make it seem like I've. Thanks.
He's got
Thanks, mate.
Not even a hint
Yeah.
of jealousy
Come on.
crosses Josh's face.
Sure.
not even a bit of caring crosses anyone.
That wasn't necessary. Or the point.
Shit.
Um,
I'm going to smash it. Move them away.
Shall we,
It's
Shall we-
too Moorish, isn't it?
I'm not jealous at all.
Slam them.
shall we skip forward a little so we've got time to do stuff with Alan?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
there
yeah,
anything
yeah.
else people wanted to cover quickly?
Let's go to the place.
Yeah, let's make track.
So I'm happy to do a bit of a time skip, which is just a day's walk along a path most of the way, and then slightly off road.
And we're sort of overseen by the Dwarven Guard. What do you call them? Call them the soldiers that fly around the eagles.
The honours, yeah.
They'll be patrolling this area, wouldn't they?
Yeah, massively. So yeah, you go off the, you head off this path a little bit, and after a bit of a treacherous walk up a mountainside, you come down the other side into this nice valley, and you can see.
Can I fly down there? I just want to show.
Yeah, I say that you get.
I really hope there's
I get my bow out and I take shots with my new toy.
So yeah,
I really hope you get hit by a monster now.
what's
taking my show off.
What? The bat?
So, really sick mechanic that they've created with the bow that I've got is
It's also
it doesn't need any ammunition.
Damage as well.
Okay.
Every time the bow is drawn, a spectral arrow materialises in the bow. But just out of habit from how Gesh has.
I might even say it's just a normal bow, like normal arrow appears.
Oh,
Or do you want a spectral arrow? What do you
well,
want?
that's what Fergus has written into
Oh,
it.
it's fine.
That fucking sounds pretty sick.
Oh yeah, have that then.
So but out of habit through Gesh's hunting.
As in, like, kind of like your infused strike kind of spectral lightning,
that
or like an
would
actual sort of dark
That can only
spectral.
the infused strike only works when Dragos is around.
Yeah.
So it
But as
would.
in, is it like cosmetically? Is it like the?
It would be
gonna-
similar. It maybe be like sort of like a darker sort of lightning, sort of like more like a purple and sort of navy kind of a
Sure.
like a deep and like sort of
Sith lightning.
yeah.
It's a, I would say as
Ah.
well it might make sense and be a good flavour as well to have it. Maybe the damage type shifts from piercing to force damage, which means there's less resistances basically.
Okay.
Oofed.
Yeah.
Huge.
It's quite similar.
Medium huge.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Medium huge.
Yeah, so as I pull it, it kind of charges.
Up here,
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Only it would obviously be a different colour, but that kind of thing sounds
You go against plate nail and stuff. You'd be better against plate nail.
Yeah.
Okay, so
force damage instead of piercing. Cool.
Thank you.
and yeah, so there's another thing that I've vaguely didn't have it. So it's a +1 to hit, and it's also a +1 to damage too. Oh, thank you, mate.
Yes, yeah, he's done that all in.
I didn't even +1 to damage.
Yeah, he's done. I think he's done +1 to damage and +1 to hit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, because it was I had 1d8 plus 4.
Oh god.
Thank you so much. I guess that's.
No, it was 1d8 plus 3.
Oh, okay, got it. Nice. Sick of blood.
Mate, having Fergie as the fucking organiser is so good. Imagine how much more
Can
difficult
you
it would be.
don't have to do it now, but can you change the damage from piercing to force damage at some point?
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Um,
You can do it now, aren't you?
oh yeah, probably 2 seconds.
Sick.
Okay, yes, and so you guys, you get to the top of the mountain and Elixir's like, alright, gonna fucking try this thing out.
Yeah.
And you find that like, you kind of take a few steps forward initially to do like a bit of one, and then you find that as soon as you kind of like grab the edges of the
Hey,
cave,
anybody?
it immediately just feels like it becomes like really like rigid and like at the same time kind of fluid too. So it's like it feels really sturdy. But just one of the things about it as well is when you're using it, you have to have your hands on it.
I saw that. I can like slip, right? I can like lose my grasp or something.
I get. Well, you could if you were to like take some damage or something, but the idea is that you can't be flying and throwing javelins and stuff.
Right.
So you use it for
Okay.
mobility, which is kind of.
It says if you ever fail to grip the cloak's edges while flying this way, you lose this gliding speed.
Sure, yeah. So it's
So
not
if I get like hit in the air, kind of thing.
something. Yeah. That'd be we'd take
Like
it
roll or
situationally.
something.
Yeah.
In an attempt to tease Eliptu, I will unquiver a few arrows and just fire them, just like really, like I'll try and obviously blatantly miss him, but just shoot them in his
That
direction.
one hits him.
Okay, I'm doing 3 as well. Okay, so 17.
Nice.
Fine.
What are you rolling for?
Uh,
He gets
6.
one, he hits him.
Oh.
And a 2.
So one like like glides right past your ear. How's it like to feel it? What's this experience like? How's it feeling?
It's absolutely shit himself.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah.
It's like flying all over again.
It's like the flying thing. Yeah.
It's like R2D2, he flies anywhere.
Just have no control over it.
Straight into a rock.
Yeah.
Fine.
You end up like hanging upside down out of a tree.
Yeah, they come down and you see that like as you guys like come down to like where this waterfall is, you see that Elixir's there and he's just like brushing loads of like branches and leaves off him and stuff. And like, oh hello. Yeah, very nice. But when you're up there, even though you probably weren't paying much attention to it, you know, the view would have been really spectacular. And as people would have just got, every time you look behind you, they're just getting smaller and smaller before an arrow kind of flies into your nice. So yeah, you're able to make it to waterfall, and after kind of like fishing around a little bit.
I can just imagine that, sorry. He's just like flying.
You eventually find this entrance to a cave, and it's really quite small. It would be like it would kind of be alright for you guys to kind of get through and like crawl a bit. Guess you're probably going to have to like properly crawl through this to get down it, if that's what you want to do.
No.
Sure.
You gonna stay outside?
Yeah, I guess she's going to stay outside. He's going to just enjoy being out in the open and being away from civilization a little bit.
Is this to the side of the waterfall, you said?
Yeah, it's off a little, like maybe like 20 meters off. Yeah.
Can I just quickly check behind the waterfall?
It's just stone.
Lame.
Treasure.
Got a lot of dough.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend it all.
How good morals for you, Gesh.
How much have you got?
Less than you.
So yeah, you guys make your way down.
Wait, just one thing. If you've only got 20 minutes left, are you sure you don't want to come down?
I'm sitting here listening to you guys. I'm fully role playing my character.
Yeah, that's fair. I just thought.
Very happy to. I'm still going to listen in on what happens.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, Gesh, you're taking the time to like breathe in the kind of like moist air that comes off
The
like
fresh-
waterfalls crashing into rocks
yeah.
and stuff. That kind of
Me and Dragos are just hanging out and just enjoying being out in the open.
really lovely. Yes,
He's pouting.
you guys, you kind of like make your way through this slightly uncomfortable tunnel. You have to kind of like duck under a few rocks and everything, and then you find that you each area begins to like open up a bit, and you see that you kind of go into this room, and it looks like it's been kind of like carved into a much larger cave. It doesn't look like particularly like supernatural.
What's the lighting situation?
Sorry.
What's the lighting situation?
I'm getting there.
Oh, fine.
So when you go in here, you see that there's this. At the far side of the room, there's this little. There's this quite small grey creature. He's quite stocky, and you see that his lower half, he's got like cloven legs. He's got like legs of a goat. He's got this wild, kind of like heavy, sort of grey dreadlock-looking hair. And he's got a very large black beard that extends all the way down to the bottom of his torso. He's got a very large nose, and he's got these piercing kind of like sort of navy blackish eyes, and you see that he's just holding this rope basically, and you can't really see where it's coming from, but he's holding this rope at one side. The room itself is quite nicely lit. It's like got quite a golden glow, which just seems to be kind of emanating from the wall. There's no one specific point that's kind of creating this light.
Beautiful.
And around there's all these various rocky structures that look like they're kind of like naturally sort of coming out of the walls themselves, but they look like they have some sort of function, but everything's sort of like hidden almost. So it looks like just a cave. And as you walk in, this little creature just says, "Oi, who goes there?"
Who's here? Sorry, just us three.
What's our like march order for going down the?
Maybe Elixir first.
Are we all in the? Are we all in the room
No,
now?
I'm not. We're not like that worried. I mean, so
No, you're trying to meet this guy.
No need to worry. We're friends of Ruggael. He sent us here.
You see, he goes, "Oh, you know Ruggael? And you see he just kind of like whips this rope he had like against the ground. There's this really loud whip crack, and it just kind of like slithers away and just joins on top of his head. It's like one of his many sort of dready hairs. As you like see him now as well, he's got this incredibly like large grey nose which is like poking through this hairy black beard, and he says, "To what do I owe the pleasure of friends of Ruggael?"
Well, we were actually hoping you could help us. Ruggael said that he gave you a ring long ago that helped you decipher foreign texts.
Indeed, the Ring of Understanding. You see, like, when it goes over to this rocky outcrop and like slides this top off and begins like pulling out all these various like various coloured stones and everything, and just begins like munching on them.
Oh. I thought he was going to get the ring. Okay, fine.
Eating rocks.
Ah, yes, a very delicious artifact.
He just says, as he's like munching them down, he just says, "Oh,
Good
so,
roleplay.
so, why do you need this ring exactly?"
Well, we're trying to decipher a text in what language is it? Maldierg. And Ruggael is helping us, and he said this ring might help us crack the code.
Aye, it certainly would.
Well, can we borrow it?
The text we are trying to decipher is of great importance to the safety of all inhabitants of the Scales.
I see. That sounds important. He says, "Well, I'm actually dealing with a little problem myself, and well, I wander in fair and square from Ruggael.
We would of course only ask to borrow it for a while.
He says, "Well, I definitely can't guarantee its return."
Well,
How can we prove our honesty to you?
what about leaving something as collateral?
He says,
We've
"Well,
got a dragonborn outside. We can leave him here.
In my line of work,
to be your bitch." What are you talking about? Trust me, Gesh, it's the only way. Fine, let the rock off begin. No, he says, "Well, I think we may be able to. I'm facing a little issue, you see, and well, help of strapping small adventurers like yourself. I'm sure you'd be able to lend a hand. And well, if you're able to do that, you can certainly have the ring free of charge."
what's this task you've got? First thing about adventuring is you don't accept a mission without a bit more knowledge.
Of course. He says, "Well, you see, I don't know if you know this, but fey creatures and corrids in particular, well, we're often sought after by unkind folk. And recently I've been, whenever I've left the cave to go and do a bit of exploring, I've found myself watching my back. There seems to be some kind of arcane master, some wizard who has settled here in the mountains, and I believe he's looking for me. If you were perhaps able to get rid of this fool of mine, well, I'd happily hand over the ring."
We do have some experience dealing with mages.
Well, that's good, because they can be tricky.
I know.
Are we still the Tomb Breakers? Is that our name?
No.
Until we think something better.
Right, can we do something more epic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dangerous is this wizard of yours exactly, do you know? And why is he after you specifically?
He says, "We corrids, well, it could be one of two things. Either somehow he's learned of the ring and wants that, however I find that unlikely, or he's after what most people are after, and that's my hair."
What a statement.
What's the deal with your hair?
He says, "Well, we corrids are blessed with this manes that we carry. They do all sorts of wondrous things, and our hairs are, as much as they operate individually as magical items, they can also be used in a variety of crafts, and as such, well, they're sought after."
What kind of
What kind of things can these
things do they use, Tom?
Well, it would be foolish of a corrid to let more people know about the sort of things our hair can do.
But we're buddies.
Can I intelligence check to like see if I know anything about these creatures?
Yeah,
Tell
sure.
us all your secrets.
Give me an arcane check.
Arcana.
Yeah.
22.
Okay.
Very good, very nice.
So all of the Fey creatures come from the Fey Wild. There's various different kinds. What you would have learned a bit about Corrids is that they're fairly easygoing, quite mischievous little creatures, as are most things of the Fey. You know that they're very, very strong, deceptively strong, super duper strong. And they have a pretty direct link to elemental earth, basically plane of earth. In terms of their hair, it's basically they say that the hair itself can be animated and commanded in just a huge plethora of ways. And there's also a rumour that whatever you use to cut the Corrid's hair, the hair will turn into that item also, or will turn into that material.
Okay.
Can I just say, while these guys are all in here, I'm scoping out around the waterfall and stuff, looking for herbs and bits and bobs.
And do you want to do it? Do you want to look for herbs?
Can do, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Give me a check.
Okay, let's do it. How do I do it?
So we decided your herbalism was your.
Just take a couple.
Something to do with efficiency, wasn't it?
But yeah, for now, let's just do it as though. Are you proficient in survival?
Yes.
Okay, we'll use your survival checks then.
Okay, cool.
Just 'cause it's a bit easier.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh, you going to grab this? Sure, take it.
Shall I just do the one? Because I can't imagine.
Yeah, do the one.
Okay.
Not sure you have a little.
I'll be down. I mean, well, you can save it if you want.
We're gonna finish it. We're gonna have me and Mo gonna have more. There'll be like a drink left, so we may as well just.
Okay, fine.
21.
Okay, nice. And then give me another roll. Oh no, sorry. Give me a 3d6 or a 2d6? Double check. I think it's a 2. Give me a 2d6. Yeah, 2d6.
2 and a 1.
Okay, so what's the total? 3. It's
3,
total.
yeah. Well, it might be for the kind of. Oh, right. I thought you were right.
No, I'm just reading loads of stuff, aren't I?
You got that.
Okay, nice. So you have found you have found 2 frozen seedlings. Let me describe them to you. These small pea-sized pods can be found amongst resilient flowers in cold environments. Named for their almost frozen appearance, they can be plucked with relative ease and are often used in cold alcoholic drinks. Thanks, Berg. Some assassins have found ways to crush these into a paste and hamper one's movements.
Thanks very much. Oh, is that interaction done?
Yes,
Complete?
Yes. So he says, as far as I'm aware,
That's right.
I've also been tracking some prints recently.
This for you.
Correct. At the same time that I've been feeling pursued by this magical individual, I've also been doing a little scoping myself, and by the looks of things, I believe he may have enlisted the assistance of a troll.
James.
Now, trolls can be quite dangerous, as they're hard to kill, as they heal quickly. And as such, you may want to try and take it down quickly.
In the Red Smile dungeon, was there a troll in there? I was in a leader.
So, this has already gone up from fighting a wizard to fighting a wizard and a troll. Is there anything else you're not telling us?
Well, I can't be sure. Well, you see, if a wizard has managed to enlist the help of a troll, he may have managed to enlist the help of other beings too, but none that I can say for sure. But either way, if you're going to take this on, I'd just say, you know, be very careful.
And if we were able to neutralize this wizard without having to kill the troll, would that solve your problem?
I suppose it probably would. I mean, it was not exactly nice thinking that a troll's lying around the area, but yes, they'd have no chance of finding me, so I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And what about giving us the ring because it's the right thing to do?
I'm so glad I'm not in there with you.
It says, I don't quite see.
The fate of the region is in your hands, and you're wasting our time with
He says the fate of the region.
petty squabbles.
The fate of the region's really no concern of mine. I can dip back to the Feywild whenever I please.
You're charming.
And says, and also, it's quite exciting to have the fate of the region resting in my hands.
And do you know anything about the whereabouts of this wizard?
I believe he's coming from a small region just to the west of here, northwest. There's a steep valley which leads up to like through a mountain pass. At the top of there, I believe would be a wise place to establish yourself. So I suspect he's probably around there. Although I daren't go too close myself, lest they find me. And although I can't handle myself in a fight, I don't really want to take the risk.
Alright.
Well, if that's what it takes,
Then so be it. We're finishing each other's sentences now.
Finish each other's sandwiches.
I was actually going to say, there's no shop.
That's what it takes then. Fuck that.
That's what it takes then. Bye.
Says I wish you the best of luck. And if you're able to cleanse me of this threat, I'll chuck a little bit extra in there for you, on top of the ring.
well, I appreciate the offer, tainted as it may be.
What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
He's going to offer us something else if we do it.
Cool.
And as we leave, I like just sidle up to him and I was like, Ian, what were you eating?
So, just a few of my favourite rocks. Would you like some?
I say, yeah, go on, give us a go. What'll it feel like, Chief?
He says, well, I can't speak for you, but for me they're soft and full of spice. He like moves this thing to one side and you see he's like created all these they look like little pearls of just regular stone, like cereal. And he pulls out a handful and snacks on a couple himself, and he hands you like 3 or 4 of these little stone pearls.
Okay, I like
Go on, go for it.
inspect it. I like tap it on the side of my head.
Sounds like it feels like hitting yourself in the head with like a marble or something.
I like a marble.
Yeah.
Okay. I put it in my mouth and suck on it.
Nice. It has like a slightly sort of metallic taste. It's very earthy. It pretty much tastes like a stone.
And I spit it out and wing it across the floor like like a spitball.
Nice. He says, "Oh, you don't like it?"
It's a fucking rock, mate.
Yeah. Ruggael didn't like them either.
Well, but I am nothing if not an explorer. And
He says, "Yes. Well, if you should share any food with me, I'd like to try it too."